You're going to need your pen and ink paper when beginning to ink your drawings. First, your sketches must be approved by Mrs. Lindquist. As you can see, I have my 5 dots and I'm going to start with that one first. I've been approved to go ahead and do this one. So I'm going to have that as reference. I need 4" by 4" squares. A lot of you either have a ruler or you have a ruler compass. Ruler compass does have a ruler sake to it. Now, depending on how good your paper is, some of you might have taken your paper and it might have gotten wrinkled through the last 2 months. So I would suggest working off edges that are not crinkled. You have 2 pieces of paper, so you can utilize those 2 pieces of paper. I'm going to go ahead and mark where my 4 inches is. And I'm going to use a straight edge. I have this lovely pink piece of paper that is a right angle, so I'm going to use it all the way to here. I can even make a mark at my 4 inches. I'm going to turn the paper. I line it up. Make sure it lines up on both sides. Once again, I'm going to rotate it. This time I'm going to make sure it rides up against this side. And I'll have my 4" by 4" squares. Now I'm going to draw them out. Now I'm going to draw out using my templates and compasses. With a number 2 pencil, I'm going to measure up to my sketches, see what I used, and lightly draw it. You don't want to press too hard. One of the reasons why you're not using a mechanical pencil is it indents the paper. It doesn't have to be exactly like your sketches, but we do want similarities.
I always like referencing. Be able to add it over.
Having an extra pencil here is nice so that you can use it whenever you have like a compass where you're supposed to put it in the middle. Putting it down here, you don't necessarily need. You can put it in here, but you're going to need to hold it too when swinging it around. And then I'm going to use my other template for my smallest circle. With the nub side up, I'm going to line it up and draw it in. Now I'm going to outline with my markers. I always prefer to outline first, but you don't have to. I also usually sit there and clean it up afterwards. So sometimes starting with the smaller marker doesn't work as well. Sometimes just working in with the larger one. If I was to do this circle, it's super easy. Making sure my template is up. I'm just going to come in here. I'm actually going to move it up a little bit and color it all in, keeping the template flush here. And then I can use this as a guideline. As I said, I'm going to show you 2 different ways. Some people would prefer to outline first, then fill it in, while others will do the reverse, where they just almost work to the edge. Always clean up your tools when it's said and done. Oops. And then I'm going to go into QuickTime, giving myself in the same direction I'll be coloring in. Careful, even if you stop here, you're going to have a weird overlap where there will be an extra section here. So you want to just follow all the way through. So I go into my time lapse, you'll notice I'm going to continue going in the same direction while coloring, and I'll do 2 coats. When I move on to this, I'm going to start without outlining first and then just color. Now when you're sharpening up any of your edges, you can go back in after you've done your coats, like this edge, and I'm just going to put my template right up against there and do a quick around in order to fix it. Kind of extend it a little too far, which is why you have your Uniball pens to assist you. At the end, and I'm kind of glad I did make a tiny bit of a mistake, because then you can see how you can go about fixing and making things look a little bit better. I'm going to extend out this, keeping my template there. I will go back to utilizing my Sharpie, cleaning up my edge. Maybe I'll just keep it there to help boundary. Still going with the vertical pen marks. And then I'll come back in and sharpen that up with my Uniball. I love these Uniball pens. They're amazing. Just a quick. The great thing about using these templates is you can almost get perfect craftsmanship. Now I'm going to come over on this side and do the exact same thing. This is the one I did not end up doing my outline first. It's not the way I normally operate, but I know some of you do. So I wanted to show you how you can do this. Going up against this edge, I'm going to work my way out. I know this may not be my first stride. And by the way, you can go outside your circle or your square. If you've noticed, on this paper, I have 4 boxes already drawn out, ready. Now, the reason why we do this is try to fit 4 on a piece of paper. If I had put this one in the middle, I wouldn't have had space for the rest of the 4, because you have a backup piece, but I've had people have to redo several times because they end up smudging or going way outside the lines and having to restart. You definitely are going to need at least 2 to 3 coats of this on here in order to make it nice and dark and looking sharp. At the end, once it is dry, that is when you can use your white eraser to erase it. Right now it's not dry, so I'm not going to touch it until it does become dry. Then you proceed to your next square. So you're all done, and I'll do a demo on how to cut these out and everything. Thank you.